We have come all the way from New York City to Leeds, England, expressly to visit Charles F Stead because this facility here is world-renowned for making the best suede on the entire planet. A lot of people, they hear suede, they think dainty, delicate, not really worth the headache of keeping it clean, but as you're gonna find out, there's a lot more that goes into suede and a lot more kinds of suede than you ever thought possible. Let's go inside. I'm here with Michael Crack, the technical director of CF Stead, and he is here to show us what goes into their suede. And we are at the very first step here. So here we have the wet blue hides, and that's how they arrive at the tannery. Yeah. So what is a wet blue hide?
A wet blue hide is a hide that has been chrome tanned. Effectively, it is leather when it comes to us because it's been permanently preserved. So they come in full hides quite often. So as you can see, this gentleman over here, he's wet samming the leather. So it gets rehydrated, a bit of anti-mold, cleaning the leather. It's often dried and it's stacked together in a pallet and it needs rehydrating.
Okay.
And at this stage, he's removing the moisture from the leather, flattening it, bringing the moisture content down to 50%. You know, like a mangle, it's squeezing out the moisture. So we have consistent moisture content for shaving. So as you can see, as it comes through the pinwheel system here, it's measuring the area of the material and the thickness.
From the wet blue state till leaves the facility, how long does that take? How long does it take for a hide to get through?
Well, it varies depending on the article, but you'd say somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. Every tannery has got their own configuration of the blades that gives you the best cutting. We believe, you know, my grandfather created that back in the 1950s.
Oh wow!
And it's every suede tannery's secret. Okay, so these drums hold 1,400 kilos of wet blue shaved weight. Each process is 2 days. So we have 8 more drums here. Polypropylene, nice and quiet, not like the other drums. And these hold 400 kilos of shave weight and 600 kilos of shave weight. So we've got a variety of different size vessels for different size loads. These are called horses, these wet bits of instruments here. They're flattening out the leather, removing the creases. It's very heavy work. And if it's done correctly, it's good. And if it's not, then obviously you can put some creases into the material.
So after it gets dyed, it gets brought here to get flattened out.
Yeah. And obviously,
and,
you know, we
dry it out a little bit.
It dries out a little bit.
Okay,
yeah. So it helps with the energy consumption because it's removing a lot of moisture here. As you can see, the leather coming off the dryer, it's obviously very dry. It'll be about 10% moisture content. The fibers are drawn together. This is what gives us, it's the start of the very tight fiber structure that Steads are known for.
So you guys do have a good reputation for shrunken leathers, like shrunken suedes and also other shrunken leathers. Yeah. And what that does is it makes all the fibers in the product tighter and denser and more closer together, which makes it less likely to stretch and a bit more hard wear.
You want a nice tight fiber structure so that when you buff it, it presents the nap in a nice, even, level nap with velour and structure, and that's what we're after. We're after the structure. It makes it very tough, very durable, and long-lasting. So we do have, you know, hang drying as well in the loft, which is a more gentle way of drying the material.
After it's dyed and then dried, then it goes into these drums?
As it's come off the dryer, it could be a slightly dry, so we add a little bit of moisture in there.
Okay, now, a lot of people might be thinking, we've seen so much going into drying it out after it gets dyed, then you put it in this and you add more water to it. Why are you making it wetter after you spent so much time making it drier?
It's just about, you know, the uniformity of the material, really, making it, you know, the same moisture content from pack to pack to pack. The next step is to toggle the leather, and And at this point, we're just flattening the leather out, ready for buffing afterwards, because you can't buff leather with creases in it for obvious reasons. In the buffing machine, it's a grit paper, a cylindrical grit paper that basically sands the leather, literally removes, very fine dust of leather.
This machine, it looks like very turbulent, lots of liquid flying around. Like, what is this? What's going on in here?
It's a rotary spray machine. As the skins pass into the machine, it's mapping out the area of the skin and the shape of the skin, and it knows exactly when to turn the guns on and off as it rotates and the skin passes through. It's about getting a balance between the atomization, the size of the droplets, and the pressure of the spray coming out. And if you do it correctly, you get a nice, even layer of colour added to the surface of the material. So the final colour checking is done in the main light box down here. This is a sample. The nap is really nice velour, a lovely surface sheen.
Right, this is meant to perfectly mimic daylight, is that it?
Yeah, very Verdi D65 light, the official light bulbs.
Of the sun.
Of the sun, yeah, exactly, yeah. And as you can see, that's a very nice, beautiful bit of suede. That's our Repello cloth.
This is where it gets sent off to the boot makers.
So as you can see, this is a suede for Clarks. It's finished. It's been selected. I will then sign the leather off for quality, final sign off when I'm happy with it, and then they'll measure it and they'll pack it, and it's ready for dispatch. That's it. So
that's it. That's the world's best suede.
That's the world's best suede.
So we're about 130 years old now. Throughout that time, the production's changed during the war period, etc. But for the last, I suppose, 65 years, there's been a real focus on making premium suedes. The suede, which we're here for today, remains an absolutely key part of our business and what we're best known for in the sort of global market. I always use the analogy of cooking and recipes. Coming up with something ultimately that's high grade, which is what our customers come to us for. You need to start off with the very best raw materials, all the best ingredients, certainly the know-how and expertise. We keep the artisanal side of production, but at the same time, introduce modern techniques and equipment where appropriate. It really comes down to not cutting corners and doing things properly and getting the best of everything. If the quality is there, people will come. But we certainly can't rest on our laurels, and things are constantly changing. But at the same time, you've got to keep the heritage and keep what's got you this far. So it's always a balancing act. We have dozens of different articles. To give you an idea, we have something like our more classic type of suede, which is a sort of medium nap. This actually has repellency in it, so it's got a fairly tight, fine structure. Will perform well, but still has a little bit of velour, a little bit of what we call writing effect on the shoe. Then on the other end of the spectrum, we have this type of suede, which is intentionally really tight, really dry, and drawn together. This is extremely durable because there's almost no fat in the suede, and it gets a lot of the buffing, which you saw. There's none of the writing effect. This is intentional for a particularly clean aesthetic. On the other end of the spectrum, you have much hairier suedes. These shoes here, for example, are all done in a much more textured, hairy suede. Likewise, this is the same, but with a sandwich dyeing. You can see in the middle the blue dye with the green on top. You can go hairier still with this sort of article, which is our rugged, rough mohawk, very topical at the moment. We have also all the reverse suedes. So I mentioned before the James calf. You can see here on this Alan Edmonds shoe, it's used unlined, so you have what is really natural, really sophisticated lining by using it unlined, or as in the Crockett shoe, it can be used lined, and you're just making the most of a really sophisticated silky velour calf suede. This is a heavier weight reverse, again for use unlined in a boot. This is a recent Levi's development, and it's done on a reverse, and this is a chrome-free tannage, which enables you to get the really light, clean colours. This is something else we do, which is a pure white suede. One of the whitest you will see, I would hazard a guess. We have, for example, the heavyweight, high-quality suedes we do for Clark's production. So the Wallaby, the Desert Boot, there's a long heritage there of providing them really high-quality, heavy suedes for their originals line. Beyond that, you start to get into the waxed and oiled suedes, which is another spectrum. Here you've got a kudu suede, which is again is unlined, really soft, really supple, kudu antelope. Really for us, it's about the right material for the right product and the right product for the right brand. No, I mean that is a massive misconception. I mean, the suedes we do for the Clark's Wallaby are usually proofed, and you just don't have to worry about being caught in rain, in mud. I mean, I wear around the tannery on a day-to-day basis some waxy Commander boots. Okay, that's a wax suede, but you will not get anything more durable. Same's true with other suedes. They're really nothing like as delicate as many people would have you believe. What we want, as I alluded to before, we want people to buy the shoes and wear them hard and wear them for a long period of time. Because apart from anything, that's how you achieve sustainability. It's getting a really good quality pair of shoes in good materials that you can enjoy, you can be proud of, you can wear into the ground for years and years, and that's the way we like to operate.